Actually speaking, Krishna and Arjun are not separate. Arjun is the illusioned and confused mind, Krishna is the center of that mind. That is the relationship between Krishna and Arjun. Krishna is the heart of Arjun. That within you, which already knows, is Krishna.
Sir, it is often perceived that females are affected by patriarchal society, but do you think it affects men? And what, according to you, are the problems faced by men due to a patriarchal society?
See, patriarchy is a great bondage. Patriarchy is a state of mind. And what is its state of mind? Please pay attention. Patriarchy is to believe that your job in life is determined by your gender. That is patriarchy. Now, patriarchy is oppressive both ways. Men have been told that your purpose, your station, your movement, your activities, your thoughts, your emotions, everything have to be determined by your gender. And women have been told much the same thing, right? So, it's not men versus women, it's wisdom versus ignorance. We take feminism as a bit of men versus women thing, or women trying to get away from oppression and being victims of men. So, we take men as the victimizers, right? Well, apparently true, apparently obviously, men are the one who exploit and oppress. But if you'll go a little deeper into it, as Vedanta encourages you to, you will say no, it's not that men are oppressing women. There is a common enemy, and the name of that common enemy is ignorance. It is because of ignorance that men continue to be men and women continue to be women. The fact is that as human beings, your nature is pure consciousness. Why do you call yourself man? Why do you call yourself a woman? Why have you made the body so important for yourself? Now you call yourself a woman and accord a man, let's say, and accord yourself some privileges. That's as debilitating as calling yourself a woman and according yourself certain duties or certain rights. The body cannot be the center of your existence. Please understand, whether you are a man or a woman. If the body is the center of your existence, then all we need is the jungle. There the body rules. Each species behaves exactly as per its genetic conditioning. That's called the jungle, right? Genetically we are conditioned and we behave as per our conditioning. That's what makes human beings unique. We have the potential to go beyond our genetic configuration. We have the potential to see that we do not behave exactly as per our body's mandate. You're sitting here, let's say the five of us are here on this stage, right? Not all of us would be comfortable, physically comfortable with everything right now. I am, for example, feeling a little cold in the feet. You might be feeling something else, you might be feeling something else. But how much importance are you giving to your physical demands right now? Please tell me. Somebody in the audience might be feeling a little sleepy post the lunch. But you are the only species that can decide to overrule the body. The body is saying sleep and you say I don't sleep. Right now is not the moment. An animal cannot make that decision. If an animal's body says eat, it will eat. You are the only one who can fight fear. You can the only one who can fight greed. If an animal feels attracted towards something, it will go towards that. And that's the reason why the entire feminist narrative needs to be cleansed of the word want and desire. Feminism cannot be about doing what you want to do. Let the girl do what she wants to do. That's not feminism. No. Just as patriarchy has said, let the boy have lots of rights, let the boy do a lot of what he wants to do. And that kind of patriarchy has been very, very bad for everybody. Similarly, if you let the woman have her way and say, let her do what she wants to do, and that's called women's emancipation. That's not taking you anywhere. That's what animals do. They just do what they want to do. Human beings are human beings because they can go beyond their wants, because they can go deep into themselves and find out what they are here for. This power to self-respect, this power to get at the core of their identities is what makes us human beings. Otherwise, there is no difference between us and animals in the jungle. Are you getting it? What was the question, by the way?
Sir, does patriarchy affect men also?
Obviously, we are all on the same boat. Think of a family where the wife and the girls and let's say the mother-in-law, they are all in shackles. And when you're in shackle, what do? You radiate joy, you make everybody blissful. What do you do? When you're in a bad mood, what do you do to your friends? Yeah, you give them flowers when you're in a bad mood. What do you do? So how can the man prosper or flourish if the women in his life or the women around him, they constitute half the world's population, if they are not doing well? So obviously it's bad for the man, not only because it is bad for the woman, but because the principle that oppresses women, we are talking of the principle, also oppresses men equally. And that principle continues because we do not see that the principle is the oppressor. We think that the man is the oppressor. No, it's not the man that's the oppressor. The principle of ignorance, Vedanta calls it Maya. That principle is the oppressor. Are you getting it? I'm not trying to absolve men. I'm not speaking as a man on Women's Day. Please. I think I'll have to clarify that again and again, because a lot of what I'm going to say would not sit well with the existing definitions of feminism. You see, I get bashed from both sides. Men think that I lean just too much towards women. And women say, but you are not directly trying to give us rights. Instead, you tell us about our real identity and such things. So a lot of women do not quite like what I say. But since you have been courageous or adventurous enough to have me here, I'll do what I do.
As you stated that feminism is often misunderstood as battle of sexes, however, it is not. It aims to understand why there is gender inequality in the society. It is the idea that the fight for the equality that exists in our society would somehow erase the masculinity or disempower men. That strangely is insulting to some men who do not identify themselves as offensive to women. So my question is, how would deconstructing the contemporary masculinity would help the movement, and what men can do to contribute to achieve the equality in the society and women empowerment?
See, men are doing exactly what the apes and the chimpanzees and the gorillas have been doing right since the first day. What are men doing? Please. Men are running around trying to grab this, gobble that, eat, consume, make merry, have sex with as many women as possible, accumulate a lot of territory. That's what men have been doing all throughout history, right? What else are the men doing? What does a typical man do that is very distinct from what a chimpanzee does? Please tell me. Please tell me. We glorify mankind as if it is some divine thing, but that which we call as mankind, fundamentally, what is it? How is it different from what happens in the jungle every day? What's happening in Europe between Russia and Ukraine, is it not happening in the jungle all the time? You know what dogs do. You must be having maybe a few dogs in your campus. You know what dogs do, right? They mark their territory. Wherever they go, they raise their leg and they mark their territory. Is that fundamentally different from what those world leaders are doing? It's just that given the power of intellect, You just don't raise legs, you raise nukes. And you threaten the other, I'll nuke you, I'll finish you, I'll obliterate you. Now that's what men have been doing all the while. Why do women want to be equal to men? What's so praiseworthy in men that you want to be equal to men? Men are captives to their biological role. Men are in bondage of their bodies, right? When a man runs after a woman in a sexual way, is the man really running after the woman, or is it the biological mandate? Please tell me. Please tell me. And if you take away the biological mandate, will the man still run after the woman? You are medical practitioners and students of medicine here, you very well know what a single shot can do. A few mgs of a particular hormone, this way or that way. Inject it or take it away. And you very well know that the entire masculine behavior will change, right? You want to make someone angry, what do? You just feed him a pill and he can become angry. You want to placate someone, what do? What are all these anti-anxiety pills? So our behavior is determined by our biology. Our behavior is very much chemical, biological. So the man is the gorilla. Why does the woman want to become a female gorilla? There is no glory in that. Therefore, equality is a misplaced ideal. What we need is liberation, and liberation is not liberty. Liberation is not liberty. Liberation is something very, very different. To be liberated is to exceed both manhood and womanhood. As long as the woman says, I am the woman and I want liberty, I repeat, it would be the liberty that you can get within confinement, within a jail. We have very liberal jails these days, don't we? So the inmates, the prisoners, they have a lot of rights within the jail. Do you want that kind of a situation? I have a lot of rights within the jail. Your fundamental jail is the body itself. Why do you want to live as per the instructions of your body? When we say, let me do what I want to do, let me live my life as per my desire, is your desire really your desire? Just as the man's desire is the hormone's desire, the woman's desire is equally the hormone's desire. Where is your desire really? Please tell me. Liberation is about knowing who you really are and therefore what your fundamental desire is. Only that can help us and save us. Otherwise, you see, we know of climate change. We know of the atomic arsenals that the superpowers hold. Even India has like 100 or 200 nukes. It's all because we have been acting as per our desires. Every country is territorial, just as every dog is territorial. We want to encroach upon the other. We want to covet others' resources. We want to have more and more to feed our bodies and our senses so that we can feel happy. The world is on the edge of obliteration exactly because we have been living as per our desires. And our desires, mind you, are the desires of the jungle. They won't take us anywhere.
Acharya, you talked about liberation. So I think that liberation can't be done by woman. So what can be the role of mind or a man in the liberation of woman?
Let me get it right. You said what can be the role of man in the liberation of woman? As long as the man is a man, he cannot help any woman. If a man continues to be a man, he can only be a predator towards the woman. If I am speaking here, I am not speaking as a man. I have to keep my gender and sexual identity aside. Please remember, biologically there can be only one relationship between man and woman. All your civilizational values aside, there can be only one relationship. The man hunts, the woman is the hunted. And in being hunted, the woman hunts back the man in a passive way. That's the biological thing. At an active level, the man is the hunter and the woman is the hunted. Inwardly, the woman is the hunter, the man is the hunted. Irrespective of which level we are talking of, there is just violence. Somebody is hunting, somebody is being hunted. So, a man really cannot help woman. A woman really cannot help man. You have to be a human being to help another human being. And that's a very different way of looking at yourself. And when, mind you, you are a human being, it is not only the man or the woman that you help, then you help entire existence. Then you care for the birds, the bees, the dogs, the squirrel, the fish. Then you cannot say, oh, I am a participant in the women's liberation movement. Now where is my mutton chop? How is it possible that you have so much empathy towards women, but not the goat? How is it possible? When you are really awake, then it is not only the gender that you care towards. Then you care towards all consciousness, because you realize that consciousness is the goal of life. Then you cannot be violent towards anybody, not even towards a blade of grass. You will try your best to minimize violence or eradicate it in whichever way possible.
I want to ask that with respect to the permissions, with respect to the judgments and everything that me compared to my sister is getting, I am allowed those freedoms more compared to her. So is it wrong for me to enjoy them?
You see, you and your sister are there. And you are given 2 apples and she is given none. Now answer me. Can you enjoy? That's it. How can you really enjoy if your sister is being denied the basic freedoms and such things? That's what. We all are greatly interlinked. Deep spirituality would say we are all one. Let's not go to that extent. But at least see that we all lead a very interlinked existence. It is not possible for one man to be joyful with others around him being in misery, especially if the other you are talking of is your own sister. How will you go out, for example, and watch a cricket match in the stadium or have a night out when you know that your sister too is a cricket lover and is not being allowed to come? Won't every bit of joy pain you further? You know that you are having it and somebody is not having it, and the one who is not having it, you love her. Now, is that then enjoyment or suffering for you? You are being kept hungry and I am being given a lot of food, and the food is delicious and nutritious. Every morsel of food now, is it enjoyable to me or is it further suffering? Yes?
I can understand. I really understand what you're saying, and I totally understand that. So I am also asking with respect to the opportunities that this world provides me. Like, I know why my sister herself is telling me कि यार मैं नहीं कर सकती ये, but then तुझे नहीं रोका है कोई तो तू जाके कर ये. With respect to the opportunities, but me myself as a person who, because I know that I like her, so should I not do those take advantage of those opportunities? Should I just?
No. First of all, it is very generous of your sister and very loving of your sister to ask you to proceed with the opportunities you have and all the freedoms that you can get. Even as she is being denied those opportunities and freedoms. That's very generous of her. Now, that's her side of the story. She's being generous. What are you being? What are you being? She's being good. All right, brother, I'm not being given the good things in life, but if you are being offered them, accept them. Right? That's her heart. Now, where's your heart? I think the greatest enjoyment in such a situation would be to ensure that she does get a bit of what you get.